If you think the foods in your kitchen are safe, think again. Because right now, inside your pantry, inside your fridge, maybe even inside the meal you ate today, there are ingredients quietly damaging your heart, your brain, your gut, and shaving years off your life. Slowly, silently, and scientifically proven. And most people have no idea. Today we're pulling back the curtain. No sugarcoating, no soft language, just the truth your body deserves to hear. This is Dr. Adewale, and in this series, I'm exposing the 10 foods that are slowly killing you. Foods backed by real research, real data, and real consequences. And trust me, once you hear this list, you will never look at your plate the same way again. Before we dive into the first deadly food, I want you to remember something. Your body is an incredible machine. It works non-stop, 24/7, repairing, detoxifying, healing. But the modern food industry, it's throwing sand into the gears every single day, and some foods hit harder than others. These are the ones that push inflammation through the roof, hijack your hormones, damage your arteries, and speed up aging, like a car going downhill without brakes. So when I say stop eating them now, I mean it with urgency, because the science is no longer vague. It's loud, clear, and impossible to ignore. All right, let's start with killer food 1. Processed meats, sausages, hot dogs, bacon, deli meats. You would think these are harmless breakfast items or quick sandwich fillers. But research paints a much darker picture. The World Health Organization has classified processed meats as Group 1 carcinogens, the same category as tobacco smoking. Why? Because they contain nitrates and nitrites that form cancer-linked compounds called nitrosamines inside your body. Combine that with high levels of sodium, saturated fat, and chemical preservatives, and you have a food that inflames blood, vessels, increases blood pressure, and accelerates cell damage. Even small, regular consumption has been linked to higher risks of colon cancer, heart disease, and diabetes. And here's the scary part. The damage is cumulative. Every slice adds up. Now let's move to killer food 2. Sugary drinks, sodas, energy drinks, fruit punches masquerading as healthy. Liquid sugar is one of the fastest ways to overload your system. Your body absorbs it almost instantly, causing a violent spike in blood glucose. Your pancreas scrambles to produce insulin. Your liver stores the excess as fat. Your bloodstream becomes a highway of inflammation. Multiple studies show sugary drinks dramatically increase the risk of fatty liver disease, obesity, type 2 diabetes, and heart disease, even in people who are normal weight. And don't fall for labels like zero fat, vitamin enriched, or 100% natural flavor. These drinks are engineered to be addictive. You're not drinking a beverage. Chemical trap. Killer food 3. Refined white flour products, white bread, pastries, crackers, and almost every convenience snack. These foods may look innocent, but they behave inside your body almost exactly like sugar. During processing, the grain loses its fiber, nutrients, and protective layers, leaving behind a high glycemic powder that rapidly spikes blood sugar and drains your energy. It triggers overeating, slows metabolism, and feeds inflammation. And because it digests so quickly, your body never feels satisfied. You eat more. You crave more. You age. Now, why am I starting with these 3? Because they show a pattern. Convenience over health, cheap calories over real nutrition, and foods engineered for profit, not for your well-being. These are everyday staples for millions of people. Yet they are silently contributing to chronic diseases that appear out of nowhere. But nothing appears out of nowhere. Your body keeps the score. In the next part, we're going deeper. The foods on deck are even more deceptive. Marketed as healthy, promoted by clever advertising, and hiding ingredients that disrupt hormones, choke your arteries, and damage your cells long before you notice a single symptom. Stay with me. Before we jump into the next killers on this list, I want you to understand something powerful. Not all dangerous foods look dangerous. Some of them hide behind bright packaging, buzzwords like natural, low-fat, or heart-healthy, and marketing designed to override your instincts. These are the foods that slip into your home without raising suspicion. Foods you give your children. Foods you grew up eating. Foods you've been told are harmless. But science says otherwise. And today, we're exposing 3 more silent assassins that are sabotaging your health from the inside out. Let's begin with killer food 4. Artificial trans fats. Often found in margarine, cheap baked goods, microwave popcorn, frozen pizza, and anything that uses partially hydrogenated oils. If there is a single ingredient that has absolutely zero benefit and maximum destruction, it's trans fats. They raise your bad cholesterol, LDL, lower your good cholesterol, HDL, stiffen your arteries, trigger deep inflammation, and dramatically increase your risk of heart attack and stroke. Think of trans fats as a slow poison. They alter your cell membranes, disrupt normal metabolic function, and make your blood thicker and more prone to clotting. For years, food companies slipped them into products because they increased shelf life and improved texture. But what they were really extending was a long-term risk to your lifespan, and while many countries have restricted them, they still show up in processed foods, especially cheap, ultra-processed snacks. If the ingredient list says partially hydrogenated, put it back. Don't negotiate with a killer. Killer food 5. Commercial vegetable oils, soybean oil, canola oil, corn oil, safflower oil, sunflower oil. Now this one shocks people every time. But aren't vegetable oils supposed to be healthy? That's the marketing talking, not the science. These oils are extremely high in omega-6 fatty acids, and when your body gets too much omega-6 and not enough omega-3, inflammation skyrockets. Chronic inflammation is the root of nearly every modern disease. Arthritis, heart disease, diabetes, autoimmune disorders, even accelerated aging. It gets worse. Many vegetable oils are extracted using chemical solvents, high heat, and bleaching agents. This process oxidizes the fats, meaning by the time the oil reaches your plate, it's already rancid at a molecular level. Oxidized oils create free radicals, unstable molecules that attack your cells, damage DNA, and increase cancer risk. And because these oils are in almost every processed food, chips, dressings, sauces, fast food, you're consuming them far more often than you realize. Killer food 6. Breakfast cereals, including the healthy, whole grain, fortified with vitamins ones. Breakfast cereals are one of the biggest nutritional scams of our time. The average box is 60–70% refined carbohydrates and sugar. Even the ones that claim to be wholesome are often coated in evaporated cane juice, corn syrup, or malt extract. These cereals send your blood sugar through the roof first thing in the morning, triggering cravings, energy crashes, and fat storage before your day even starts. But the real problem is the illusion of nutrition. Fortified with vitamins doesn't make it healthy. It just means they stripped the nutrients during processing and sprinkled synthetic ones back on top. And many cereals also contain artificial colors, preservatives, and flavor enhancers that disrupt gut health and behavior, especially in children. What should be the meal that fuels your day has become a dessert disguised as breakfast. So why do these foods matter? Because they attack your body in ways you can't feel immediately. They influence hormones silently. They damage arteries silently. They inflame organs silently. You might not feel the consequences today, but your body is recording every bite. And here's the truth. Most people start experiencing mysterious health problems. Fatigue, stubborn belly fat, joint pain, high blood pressure, digestive issues, without ever realizing the root cause is sitting in their kitchen. But don't worry. We're only halfway through the list, and what's coming next will shock you even more. Because the next foods are the ones most people think are completely safe, even healthy. But the research says otherwise. We've talked about the obvious offenders and the hidden threats. But now we're entering the most dangerous category of all. Foods that pretend to be healthy. These are the foods that people proudly put in their shopping carts, believing they're making smart choices, when in reality, the science shows they're contributing to weight gain, hormone imbalance, digestive issues, and long-term disease. These next three killers are the masters of deception, and once you understand how they work, you'll never fall for their tricks again. Let's begin with killer food 7, flavored yogurts, especially low-fat, fruit on the bottom, or light options. If someone asked you to picture a healthy breakfast, many people would imagine yogurt. But the commercially flavored versions are basically sugar bombs wrapped in a dairy disguise. The moment a product says low-fat, the manufacturer compensates by adding more sugar, stabilizers, and artificial flavors. In some flavored yogurts, the sugar content is equivalent to a candy bar, and that fruit at the bottom, it's usually not fruit. It's a fruit syrup, concentrated sugar with colorants and preservatives. The problem goes deeper. Excess sugar feeds harmful gut bacteria, disrupts digestion, and increases inflammation. Meanwhile, artificial flavors confuse the brain's reward system and lead to cravings. So while yogurt can be healthy when it's plain, full-fat, and probiotic-rich, flavored yogurts have transformed a nutritious food into a metabolic trap. Many people think they're starting their day with something wholesome, but they're actually activating fat storage mode before 9 a.m. Killer food 8, granola and protein bars. The health snacks that belong in the dessert aisle. Granola bars are sold as energizing, natural, fitness-friendly snacks, but flip over the label and what do you see? Sugar, glucose syrup, brown rice syrup, palm oil, artificial additives, and if you see words like yogurt coated, chocolate dipped, or honey drizzled, that means even more sugar and inflammatory oils. The average granola bar has the same blood sugar impact as a cookie. Protein bars can be just as deceptive. Sure, they boast high protein content, but what kind of protein? Often low-quality isolates mixed with artificial sweeteners, gums, hydrogenated oils, and fillers. These bars are engineered for flavor and texture, not for your health. You might get a momentary energy boost, but afterward comes the crash, the craving, and the cycle continues. They're snacks designed to look fit, while slowly inflaming your metabolism. Killer food 9, diet drinks and artificial sweeteners. The wolves in zero-calorie clothing. 0 calories, no sugar, guilt-free. These labels are some of the most misleading in modern nutrition. Artificial sweeteners like aspartame, sucralose, and saccharin don't just confuse your brain. They disrupt your body's metabolic signaling. Research shows they can interfere with insulin response, increase sugar cravings, and even alter gut bacteria in ways that promote weight gain, not weight loss. And here's the biggest shock. People who regularly drink diet sodas have higher rates of belly fat, metabolic syndrome, and type 2 diabetes than people who drink sugary sodas occasionally. How is that possible? Because your brain tastes sweetness, expects calories, and when none arrive, it increases hunger signals. You end up overeating later without realizing why. The diet drinks aren't helping you. They're betraying you. Now, why are these foods so dangerous? Because they target your belief system. When you think something is healthy, you eat more of it. You lower your guard. You don't question the ingredients. And food companies know this. They spend billions to shape your perception while hiding what's inside their products. But here's the empowering truth. Once you learn how to decode these foods, you take back control. You stop being manipulated. You start feeding your body in a way that supports healing, energy, and longevity. We're not done yet. The final foods on this list are the most addictive, the most engineered, and the most heavily consumed in the modern world. These are the ones damaging millions of people every single day without them even realizing what's happening. It's going to open your eyes even wider. We've exposed the deceptive foods, the hidden sugar traps, the oils that inflame your body from the inside out. But now we're stepping into the territory of pure addiction. Foods engineered to override your brain, your hunger signals, your hormones, and ultimately, your willpower. These next items don't just harm your body. They hijack your biology. They're carefully designed by food scientists to keep you craving more, buying more, and eating more, even when your body is screaming for relief. And these foods are everywhere. Let's dive into killer food 10. Fast food. The king of convenience and the silent ruler of chronic disease. Fast food is a chemical cocktail. Refined carbs, oxidized oils, trans fats, sugar, artificial flavors, artificial colors, and preservatives. But the most dangerous ingredient isn't any single chemical. It's the combination. When you mix salt, sugar, and fat in specific ratios, you create something called the bliss point. This is a neurological sweet spot where your brain becomes overstimulated, dopamine surges, and your natural fullness signals shut down. That's why one burger leads to fries, leads to soda, leads to dessert. These meals are engineered to be addictive. They're loaded with advanced glycation end products, AGs, compounds created when foods are cooked at extremely high temperatures. AGs accelerate aging, damage blood vessels, stiffen collagen, and promote inflammation throughout the body. You feel the pleasure, but your cells feel the trauma. And let's talk about the oils used in deep fryers. Fast food chains reuse the same oil repeatedly, causing oxidation, breakdown, and the formation of toxic compounds that harm your heart and liver. Even one fast food meal can spike inflammation markers for hours. Multiply that by weekly or daily consumption, and you have a recipe for accelerated disease. Killer food 11. Packaged snacks and chips. The crunchy killers that keep you reaching for more. Chips, cheese puffs, crackers, snack mixes. These are not food. These are industrial products. They're created using processes like extrusion, where grains are heated and pressurized into airy, crispy shapes. This destroys nutrients and creates compounds the human body was never meant to consume. Most chips are fried in highly inflammatory seed oils, coated in artificial flavor powders, loaded with sodium, and crafted to dissolve quickly in your mouth. Why does that matter? Because if food dissolves fast, your brain doesn't register it as full, so you keep eating. This is known as vanishing caloric density, and it's one of the most manipulative tricks in modern food science. The result? Overeating, weight gain, insulin resistance, chronic inflammation, and if you're eating chips at night, you're spiking blood sugar when your metabolism is supposed to be recovering. You're forcing your body to fight inflammation while you sleep. You wake up tired, bloated, craving more. Killer food 12. Highly processed frozen meals. The quick and easy killers. Frozen pizzas, microwave dinners, processed pasta bowls, frozen burritos. These may seem convenient, but the cost is your health. These meals are loaded with sodium, preservatives, emulsifiers, artificial colors, synthetic flavors, and industrial oils. They're also stripped of fiber and real nutrients, meaning your body receives calories without nourishment. An equation that always leads to cravings, overeating, and hormonal imbalance. The biggest danger? The additives. Many frozen meals contain phosphates that disrupt kidney function. Emulsifiers like polysorbate 80 and carboxymethylcellulose damage the gut lining and contribute to inflammation and metabolic disorders. When your gut lining weakens, toxins leak into your bloodstream, a condition known as leaky gut. This triggers an immune response that affects digestion, mood, immunity, and even brain health. These foods also train your taste buds to crave hyper-flavored meals, making natural whole food taste bland. You become addicted to intensity, and your health pays the price. So why are these foods so deadly? Because they don't just hurt you physically, they change your relationship with food. They make your body confused, inflamed, nutrient-deprived, and hormonally imbalanced. They drain your energy. They age you faster. They steal your vitality. And here's the thing most people don't realize. These foods work together. If you eat fast food for lunch, chips for a snack, and a frozen dinner at night, your body never gets a break from inflammation. It never gets a chance to repair. It stays in constant survival mode. But we're not done yet. There's one more part. In part 5, we're going to tie everything together. Why these foods are deadly, how they affect your system over time, and most importantly, the simple, powerful changes you can make starting to reclaim your health and rebuild your body from the inside out. You've made it to the final part, and this is where everything comes together. You now know the 10 foods that are slowly killing you. Foods that inflame your organs, hijack your hormones, weaken your immune system, accelerate aging, and push your body toward chronic disease without you even realizing it. But knowledge means nothing unless you understand what these foods do to you over time and how to break free from their grip starting today. So let's close this series with clarity, strength, and a plan. First, let's look at what these foods have in common. Whether it's fast food, sugary drinks, refined flour, flavored yogurts, granola bars, vegetable oils, or processed meats, they all trigger the same destructive cycle in a body: chronic inflammation. Inflammation is your body's alarm system. A little is helpful, but when it becomes chronic, it silently damages your arteries, your joints, your brain, and your organs. Most modern diseases, heart disease, diabetes, cancer, gut disorders, begin with inflammation fueled by these foods. Hormone disruption. Sugary drinks spike insulin. Artificial sweeteners confuse your brain. Processed snacks trigger dopamine surges. Vegetable oils disrupt omega balance. Over time, your hormones fall out of sync. Hunger, stress, fat storage, and blood sugar control all spiral. Gut damage. Preservatives, emulsifiers, artificial flavors, and chemically processed oils weaken the gut lining. When your gut breaks down, toxins leak into the bloodstream, a silent assault that leads to bloating, fatigue, food sensitivities, mood swings, and immune dysfunction. Addiction. Many of these foods are designed to bypass natural fullness signals. They melt in your mouth. They hit your brain fast. They train your body to crave more and more. This isn't lack of willpower. Dependence. Nutrient starvation. Highly processed foods deliver calories, but not nutrients. Your body keeps feeling hungry because it's not getting the vitamins, minerals, and amino acids it actually needs. You end up eating more, aging faster, and weakening your internal defense systems. Once you understand this, you realize something powerful. These foods aren't killing you because you ate them once. They're killing you because you eat them repeatedly. It's the cumulative damage that breaks the system. But here's the good news. Your body is unbelievably resilient. It regenerates. It detoxifies. It rebuilds. It heals if you give it what it needs. So here's how to break the cycle and reclaim your health. 1. Replace. Don't restrict. If you simply cut things out, you'll feel deprived. But if you swap them, you'll feel empowered. Instead of sugary drinks, drink water, lemon water, green tea. Instead of flavored yogurt, choose plain full-fat yogurt with real fruits. Instead of vegetable oils, use olive oil, avocado oil, or coconut oil. Instead of chips, choose nuts, hummus with vegetables, or air-popped popcorn. Small swaps lead to big transformation. 2. Make whole foods the foundation. Your body recognizes real food. Fruits, vegetables, legumes, nuts, seeds, whole grains, high-quality proteins. These nourish your cells, feed your gut, reduce inflammation, and balance hormones. You don't need perfection, you need consistency. 3. Read labels like your life depends on it, because it does. If you see hydrogenated, partially hydrogenated, high fructose corn syrup, artificial flavor, artificial color, or an ingredient list longer than your grocery receipt, put it back. 4. Cook more meals at home. When you control the ingredients, you control your health. Even 2 or 3 home-cooked meals a week can dramatically reduce inflammation and boost energy. 5. Practice the 80-20 principle. You don't need to eliminate everything forever. Aim to eat clean 80% of the time. Your body can handle the occasional treat. What it cannot handle is daily abuse. 6. Listen to your body. Fatigue, bloating, headaches, cravings, irritability, brain fog, these aren't random. Your body speaks. Start paying attention. And finally, 7. Believe that you deserve health. Because you do, your future self, the one with more energy, clearer skin, sharper thinking, better sleep, and stronger immunity, is waiting for the choices you make today. These 10 foods may be killing millions quietly, but you're not going to be one of them. Not anymore. This is Dr. Adewale reminding you, health isn't something you find, it's something you build. One choice, one meal, one day at a time. Stay strong, stay informed, and take back control of your body. Your life is worth it.